Warcraft Gold League Summer 2019, $60,000, the World Championship going into the round of 8. After 5 days of group stage, we are here in the top 8, basically a double elimination quarter-final. The 8 best players of the world are gathered here, and today it's 1-2-0, surrounded by humans. He is starting in the opening match against Chaemiko. Afterwards, we have TH versus Sok in a human mirror. China versus Korea, the theme of the day.
I'm so excited, dude. The World Championship is drawing closer and closer to its conclusion. We started off with the 16 best players in the world. Now we're down to the best 8 players in the world. And for 1-2-0, our starting match against Chaemiko seems to be looking rather good in Group A. We saw him already in the round of 16 playing against Infi. And boy, did he play well, or what, surprising you amongst a lot of fans as well, I guess. Infi, of course, a world-class player himself, got kind of outclassed in that game that we saw there.
1-0 definitely stepping it up from his former gold performances. This is maybe his shot at another Tier 1 title. Last one was in July 2018. For a player of his caliber, certainly a long time. Yeah. He could become the first player who wins Gold League 3 times. Same goes for TH. Moon could be the 3rd player to defend his title. He will be playing tomorrow in the group with Happy Focus and Lawlight. There's 5 players here though who have never won a major title. Happy is among these players. Sok and Chaemiko, of course, already with the best performance of their career going into the top 8 of the world. Focus and Lawlight, part of the scene for such a long time. Never that one single title. Is that about to change? Chaemiko has to step it up, but here comes the best performing player in the history of the Gold League, representing China, and newbie, the Necromancer, seemingly the usurper. We see some highlights here in the round of 16. He was defeating Infi like it's nothing with 2-0.
Yeah, with outstanding timings, I think. Seems to be so well prepared for Infi. Is he as well prepared for all the humans? Among them, Chaemiko, his first round opponent. On paper, this looks pretty one-sided, but Chaemiko has been playing one hell of a tournament so far.
The marathon man. Every single game of his was 2-1. Only losing to Moon, but the series of the tournament so far. Against Fly, he was playing really well, and he had some time to prepare. How do you prepare for 1-2-0? That's the question. TH, one of the 2 players with a 4-0 score here at the Gold League in one of the easier groups, we gotta admit, but the matches against Focus were a sign of strength for sure.
Yeah, Focus perhaps slipping there a little, one could argue, but TH playing super well there, and also embarrassing colorful in the match previous. He is the big favorite coming into this and is looking as strong as we were expecting, and Sok also with one hell of a performance so far. He has had some outstanding plays, surprising so many viewers here in this tournament.
The play of the tournament there with an Invis, Footman and Mountain King eliminating Lin. The War Chief is out. The new generation of Korea makes its way into the top 8. Only Moon is remaining from the old guard. There is no Lin this time, no Lucifers. Here are the 8 players that are remaining. Newbie twice, winners twice, and the lone rogue warrior. Coming in a little Dragon Ball-esque it is, and the Chinese have something prepared for them as well. The fusion dance between the 2, of course. They were in teams together a lot in China versus Korea especially. And we have 2 Chinese versus 2 Koreans, man. Yeah. Good friendship and good atmosphere among the players, but that will definitely change once they take their seat. Especially for Sok and Chaemiko. What does it do? It's already the most prize money they've ever won in a tournament. One more day of survival and they triple that. Chaemiko could double his entire prize money of the year right here today.
And something that cannot be underestimated for a lot of players is the psychological component. How much pressure do you have on yourself? How much pressure do you feel from the community to perform? Already Sok and Chaemiko getting here, nobody really was expecting it, and getting further, nobody wants them or desires them to see it so much. Nobody's expecting. Nobody would be too disappointed if they don't get out of the group, so they can play without too much pressure on their shoulders. 1-0, and TH, the only Chinese left. The whole scene on China is looking at him, wants them to perform. TH actually in the interview admitted to me or told me that that is one of his biggest strengths, not feeling the pressure in the game, that he keeps a calm head at all times. But if they fail here and the 2 Koreans make it through, that would be an outrage in China.
There are a lot of surprises all the time at Gold Leagues. That would be one of the biggest ones ever in the history of this tournament. The chances are, to be fair, not that high for that to happen.
True.
It's very, very likely that the 2 favorites, TH and 1-0, will prevail. But in what order? Who gets the better seed? Who will dodge the winner of Group B? That's quite important. Everyone expects TH and 1-0 here. We've been through 5 days of group stages. Great matches, great performances from some Western players as well, especially the Americas have to be mentioned here, who caught up with the rest of the scene a little. Cash once again pretty close to advancing, but against Focus, that was just no match for him. We are in the top 8 today, Group A. Tomorrow, Group B. We have a pretty equal racial distribution. 3 humans, 1 orc remaining. That is Focus, who will be playing Happy tomorrow. Moon and Lawlight, the strongest night elf in the scene, represented here as well. And the top dogs of the Scourge, 1-0 and Happy for the Undead.
Every Undead that made it to Shanghai so far is still in the tournament. The by far 2 best Undead in the world, no question about that. 1-0 and Happy, making it from the top 16 into the top 8. 1-0 we'll be seeing today, Happy, of course, tomorrow, and yeah, here it is. This is a lot about China versus Korea today, but also about the top favorites against the underdogs. You almost sound like you're sure that 1-0 and TH are making it through, Neil.
Pretty sure. Talk to Lawlight as well. Everyone here says that they are the favorites, and we'll see. Lawlight said, that's a very good point. This is best of 3. In a best of 5, the chances for 1-0 and TH would be even higher. But here we see the highlight reel of Group A, as it seems. The highlight reel for Chaemiko versus 1-0.
我是来自牛逼战队的120。我对我小组赛发挥还是比较满意的吧。原因是我觉得双败赛制比较适合我，因为有充足的时间去做赛前准备，所以发挥也算比较好吧。接下来我对阵的选手是来自韩国的 Chaemiko。
안녕하세요. 위너스 and WNS 팀에서 활동하고 있는 한국 휴먼 플레이어 채미코라고 합니다. 반갑습니다. 가장 인상 깊었던 경기는 아무래도 장재우 선수와 했던 2-3경기. 2-3경기가 제가 둘 다 충분히 이길 수 있었던 게임이었는데 역전패를 당해가지고 8강에서 이제 저랑 만나게 됐을 때 굉장히 제일 쉽지 않은 상대 중 한 선수이기도 했고 굉장히 쉽지 않지 않을까 생각이 됩니다.
我对他的印象一直是他非常会打比赛，然后比赛之前会做很多针对性的训练。他这次出现在我看来并不算是意外吧。这次韩国选手在我看来普遍发挥非常好，尤其是年轻选手吧。我也是看到了有可能跟我差不多年纪的选手能进到8强，也是为他们感到开心吧。但是很不幸，他们遇到了我，可能他们就要止步于此了。
솔직히 지금 휴원전 밸런스가 좋지 않다고 좀 여론이 기세는 추세인데 하지만 뭐 아까 말씀드렸듯이 최선을 다해서 게임에 임할 거고 지더라도 서로 이제 재밌는 게임 후회 없이 재밌는 게임이 됐으면 좋겠습니다.
1-0 versus Chaemiko. Our first game of the day is about to start. A lot of confidence coming out of 1-0.
That was pretty cool to see. He's happy for the other guys, you know, he's glad that they are also making a deep run, but this may very well be where the run ends. 1-0 with a shape and confidence here at WGL that I haven't seen in a while from him. He has had successful tournaments in the last couple of months and years. He won the Yule Cup this year, and last year's Masters Coliseum was also his, so it wasn't like he was on a massive dry streak, but here at WGL it wasn't the best most recently. This is one of the most impressive in quite a while at the Gold League from this young man.
His group stage was super impressive, man. 2-1 Lawliot, 2-0 Infi. Super hard to get out of the top 16. For Chaemiko, he made it to Gold Leagues 3 times now. It's his first playoffs. His group stage also pretty hard. Fly Moon was his way into this one.
He got his victories against Orc. That is known to be his strongest matchup. Now going up against Undead. Perhaps a little bit harder. It's going to be a true test for him that he's not just going to be able to rely on the single matchup.
True that. We see the picks and bans of the maps is still best of 3. 1-2-0 getting rid of Echo Owls and Terranas. Chaemiko doesn't want to play on Northern and Twisted. Amazonia, Concealed and Last Refuge are remaining, and we start on Last Refuge.
Interesting choice here.
Yes.
The one outstander is Concealed. Chaemiko leaving Concealed in instead of Northern Isles. Concealed is a very hard expansion map. In fact, it is going to be his loser's pick. Basically meaning his preferred map, Concealed Hill. That is not very normal for a human player.
That speaks to me like he has some specialties prepared on this. Maybe less expansion play.
Interesting to see how is he going to approach this matchup. We head into our first match of today, the big favorite, 1-2-0 against the underdog, Chaemiko from Korea. Is the confidence well-founded? Will 1-2-0 stomp through this match, or will Chaemiko put up a good fight? We certainly hope so. He's been impressing us so far at the Gold League. Is this really where his run ends?
1-2-0, 22 years old. He's only playing since 2014, but already made it almost into the top 10 best earning players in Warcraft 3 history, breaking the $100,000 mark just recently. This year, okay, as you pointed out, rank 5 in all of earnings. So that would be a pretty good boost here. Could surpass Infi, if I'm not mistaken, with the top 4 performance. In the upper right, we have Chaemiko. He's playing since 2016, also not too much experience for him, but he was living in a team house along the other A1 guys, Lawliot and Sok and So-In, and that helped him a lot to catch up and learn from these guys. His year, he made $1,500 going into this tournament. The prize pool for this tournament already $1,500, and we open up with the Mountain King.
All right, that is not too usual anymore in this match. A Mountain King first nowadays usually preferred mostly against Night Elf on easy to creep maps, with expansions, with Merc camps, but this is kind of old school. This is what used to be played all the time back in 2015 when Undeads did have quite a tough time with Human and also with Mountain King first, and a lot of Undeads were very vocal about how difficult the MK is to beat. Shout out to Chehi at this point, perhaps he's watching. But yeah, he has the big issue. Once he's out of mana, once he doesn't have spells to use anymore, he's kind of a big footman. He does okay right-click damage, but he can get harassed really, really hard. This is already a little bit risky. If this MK opening doesn't start off well, if this expansion gets harassed a lot, if suddenly ghouls start appearing, if the MK doesn't get off to a good start, this could be scary. He's going for the Merc camp creep first.
He wants the Acolyte to be gone. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow.
He has to get the Shadow Priest.
Absolutely. 1-2-0 is trying. Stormbolt, though. That's the first bit of mana gone.
Okay.
Can't use that against the creeping Shadow Priest. But alright, he got that. He can dispel the skeletons and gets a little bit of healing from this, so the shop can be delayed. 1-0 on the other side, taking it a little slowly, not harassing immediately, using the coil aggressively, and gets Watcher Wards for a little bit more map vision. Statistically, it is a horrendous matchup for Chaemiko. 8-1 in series, 14-3 in maps. Those 3 maps were just recently in the summer qualifier in April, where they met in the semifinal. Chaemiko won that game 3-1, but to be fair, 1-2-0 played some wonky strategies there, so I don't know if we can take these results too serious. Apart from that, one match, Chaemiko has never won a single map against against 1-2-0.
This was quite a bit of militia usage early on. 6 militia to take the first camp. That costs effectively a lot of lumber. Bit of a supply block there as well. But I think so far this game working out okay for Chaemiko. Honestly, this is a risk. If suddenly the DK shows up with skeletons and you even lose the Shadow Priest, that's not necessarily GG, but it's a horrible, horrible start. But he made sure he got that Shadow Priest. But 1-0, how different he's playing to Happy, right? Remember the games from Happy against Human? Level 1 aggression all the time, every single time. But the Chinese meta is a little bit different. You go creeping first, maybe you go level 2 first. You make sure you have that aura, so that cannot be prevented if you do miss the coils.
The expansion creep is going to be super important now. First Fiend is heading back, doesn't want to fall to the Stormbolt. We have the Scourge Bone Chimes, by the way. This will help to keep the Footman and Militia up during the creeping, which is not too bad. The Skeletons will most likely be there to harass, so 1-0 is sending everything back. So that's a free level 3 for Chaemiko. And the Circle is also not too bad to have from the first spot. Ring against the Lich Nuke later, also not too bad to have.
This is the big strength of the MK, the Stormbolt level 2 kill potential. Usually this is how Undead plays most of the matchups. They go for expensive units early on with a fast tech, namely Fiends. They're going to be valuable throughout all stages of the game, but they're very expensive. You really, really don't want to lose them. AM has really bad kill potential, no slow, no stun, so you can be aggressive with them. But against the Mountain King, it's an entirely different story.
Look at the confidence of Chaemiko creeping the shop away, knowing that his opponent is quite a bit away. 1-0, one of the best last hitters in the game. Will this happen here against the Magi? No, Chaemiko is making sure that this skeleton will not survive and gets the Scroll of the Beast for that. Good last hit with the coil, but it's only a little bit of experience. But you can see that that 1-0 clearly has a focus in stopping this Mountain King. But is it already too late for that? 3.75 levels on this MK.
I think Chaemiko's playing this well so far, realizing his current strength. Level 3 MK at this stage in the game, super strong. Also his mercenaries are helping out. And 1-0 is still too afraid to engage. He doesn't want to lose those Fiends. So Chaemiko has still map control, can creep up more. And level 4 for the MK is really big. That will mean level 2 Clap and level 2 Stormbolt. Before level 2, those spells are alright, but nothing special. But with that level up and possibly a greater mana, he becomes a massive threat. Gets only the Scroll of the Beast, is going to sell one of them, but he gets to level 4, and that's good enough.
It's kind of baffling to me how much time 1-0 gives him. Even in older patches, 1-0 was one of the best to contain expansions and try to break towers and just to delay it and just to get some gold out of the humans' economy. This is not going to happen here so far. Tier 3 is about to be there. Lich is about to come out, who brings in Words of Necromancy. Nice item for the Death Knight, by the way, with this Mana Stone. But this is not enough to kill this expansion. Maybe a couple of Footmen, maybe the tower. Okay, but Chaemiko's expansion is up for long enough that he can absolutely afford that. Mercenaries are up there as well. There's plenty of mana and boots. So this is already pretty risky for 1-0, coming in with the clap. So not singling out Fiends, but rather do damage to all of them. There we go, Stormbolt right clicks. Oh, the clap right before the coil arrives. And the first blood for Chaemiko.
Well done. Gets a Fiend there, and again, these are expensive losses. However, that cost him a lot of mana. That was basically his entire mana pool, so not too easy to do again. Clarity is running now, but mana potions plus possibly a Blood Mage is what you really want to get all that mana on the MK. But we saw earlier, the tech for Chaemiko was really late. It must have started by now. But this is all part of the mass militia usage early on. Of course, you don't have water elementals. You have to use those militia. Here's the tech, by the way. Still not halfway done. The Undead Tier 3 might actually be faster, I'm pretty sure it is, than the Human Tier 2.
The thing is, Blacksmith is also not ready. Like, Chaemiko has no anti-air. Nothing. Not even water elementals or right-clicks from an Archmage, because, of course, Mountain King first. So, if 1-2-0 keeps this Blacksmith down, and he does a great job at that so far, what to do against an upcoming Destroyer push?
This time he realizes the clap potential. Mud Golem now coming in. That's a great addition here for more slow, for more kill potential. Still no destroyers ready. Scroll of the Beast being used right there on the backline of Trolls. And so far, no more kills for Chaemiko. It's all about the mana for the MK. As long as he has mana, he's pretty strong. But once that's gone, that again is the big weakness. He doesn't do much anymore. And 1-2-0 is doing a good job microing here. But there is a farm at the lab, so the reveal is going to be there. But with Frost Armor, it's really hard to find those kills for Chaemiko.
Also plenty of coils, the remaining good mana management from 1-0. And now what to do? He got rid of one Shadow Priest and one Berserker. basically cutting his anti-air in half. Of course, you can go for more Berserkers, but they are on a cooldown and they cost quite a bit. Chaemiko got the Blacksmith up, so Riflemen are a possibility. I wonder if he goes double Barracks or not. Tier 3 is done. Destroyer upgrade 40%, and that's the crucial time for... well, Dark Ranger for Chaemiko now. It is double Rax to get into Mass Riflemen as soon as possible.
Second Rax is walled off behind the farm wall, though, so he has to open that up or go for Zeppelin or something. Otherwise, it's going to be a little awkward. Dark Arrow first for the Dark Ranger here, starting to creep more. 1-0 wants to hit level ups, especially on the Lich. Without Nova, fighting in the late game isn't really ideal, as he went for Frost Armor first, but it's going to be level 2 now in a moment. Getting this lab is going to be very helpful for Chaemiko. He's really low lumber, by the way. Could certainly use a shredder over here.
He just built 2 buildings, though, and an upgrade, so...
oh, there's Creepjack.
oh boy, here we go.
Has to go for Zeppelin now. TP. Okay. I guess he was afraid of Web, making sure. Got the item at least,
Mana
which
Stone.
was... oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mana Stone, one of the best items on this map for the
Yeah.
MK.
Mana regen and consumable at the same time. Switching into early-ish abominations, like Destroy upgrade is done and then immediately going for this heavy melee unit, the only one that Undead has. Blood Mage second, as you said. We have a Banish Bolt combo now.
Yeah.
Or Siphon early.
Yeah, on level 1 it's Siphon. You need the mana.
So can Chaemiko hold on until his tech units are there? First Destroyer ready.
And with the Nova Slow coming in, plus the Focus Fire, these units will die quickly. By the way, when we checked out the expansion, I think there's only a single Arcane there,
Yeah.
right? Looks extremely easy to break.
Yeah.
And this is really scary right now for Chaemiko. If he has 2 more minutes of time for mass rifle production, he has a decent force, but only 2 rifles isn't quite that much damage just yet. At the shop, going for the invul. New towers coming up. Good SimCity, making it really hard to engage into these towers. Well done by Chaemiko.
Can he repair, though? Tower is about to come up. This Arcane is taking care of the Dark Ranger first. Chaemiko is up at 61 supply. Is everything with this army, though? Arcane Tower gone. Clap comes in. Does he want to hero focus to get just rid of the Undead? I don't know if there's enough, but so many skeletons on 120's side. Great, the Clap takes care of them, but that's a Clap that doesn't really end up on the Fiends. Militia is coming from the right-hand side, trying to nuke this Blood Mage, getting into the backline. Stormbolt again, and Clap. That wasn't really necessary, I guess, but making sure that there's no coil. 120 gets the revenge kill here. Is eye for an eye.
Oh, the militia, they could be doing the Undead a favor now, as they could be turned into skeletons. Good Siphon there, coming on to the DK, but still plenty of mana left. MK now once again out of mana.
And he burns
it's
through the
time to
Mana
retreat.
Stone as well. That is the upper hand now. With the Blood Mage, you can transfer mana all the time to the Mountain King, though, so there should be at least a little disable for that. Dispel needed against all the skeletons. There's a reason we call 120 the Necromancer. His skeleton plays legendary in this game.
1-0 falling back now to the red camp. It's going to be a big camp for him. Easy to creep as well with the Destroyer. And double level ups. Level 4 DK, level 3 Lich. This is a grand prize to take, but it's also a bit more time for Chaemiko. Time to produce more. Rifles are pretty good against Destroyers, I guess, but they are not good against high-level heroes, and we're starting to get there.
And definitely not good against Abominations as well. Counter expansion close to the natural of Chaemiko by 120. This Lich, by the way, plus
Chaemiko.
yeah, that's so risky. It's gonna get... oh, yes, no TP. Okay, the Lich is gonna be sick with the Claw plus 12 and the Mantle and the Orb and the Gloves of Haste, so the DPS is off the charts. He's not getting stuck there. Little lucky that 120 doesn't find him.
Yeah, lucky for Chaemiko not to be scouted there exactly. It's nighttime, so he couldn't
Level
see
5,
him.
by the way, on the Mountain King.
He's gonna go for level 3 Clap with that, I imagine.
Supply is equal. He's going in on that DK, trying to force the town portal with Clap in the back. Is there Death Pact or Aura 2 is the question. More mana for this Mountain King. Nothing really on the DK, and he forces that town portal. Mass burrow, and he gets out with basically everything. Supply is equal. Is this level 5 Mountain King making the difference now?
And it's Chaemiko scouting up on the high ground. He
Yeah.
must know the red camp has been taken, but it's such a cheeky expo position. It's kind of cocky, honestly. Fits 120, I guess. He hasn't scouted for it yet. Dark Ranger getting up to level 3.
Oh, Rune Bracers. What a blessing for this Undead.
Yeah. Pretty sure he has Death Pact, by the way. Looks like the movement
Yeah.
speed suggests this. And these rifles, they're starting to fall off, man. If the Lich hits a good Nova, right clicks coming in. If it's level 2 Dark Arrow, the Skeleton's coming in. It's not going to be too easy to fight. And Chaemiko, he doesn't have the mass numbers just yet. He hit 63 supply, yes, but this is 2 base 63 supply. A lot of it is stuck in Peasants.
Invis Mountain King just a little too late to the party. Love this play by 120. Doesn't use the destroyers during creeping, which would speed things up, but harasses Chaemiko in the main to get rid of his lumber. Gold, he has enough, but maybe he needs some lumber for that. Clap comes in, slows everything down. The Korean willing to engage, as it seems. No TP, no potion on this DK. Gotta rely on Deathpack. Look at the damage! But does he have the follow-up damage is the question. More claps coming in. Uses the Stormbolt here, but there should be more coils maybe on cooldown. Clap behind it. Lich is dead! And with that, the Orb of Corruption gone. The Fiend as well. The Korean with a good engagement, killing so much. Abomination dead. And the second Fiend as well. What the hell?
That is the play of this game. This bolt into Clap. And 120 not respecting the level 5 MK enough. He should have gotten heal scrolls. Then everything here would have looked very different. Just one single heal scroll would have made the escape there certain for him. But great usage of this Mountain King once again by Chaemiko. Like it was against Moon, the surprise Clap Stormbolt kill onto the second hero, swinging this game in his favor. But the expansion for the Undead has still not been seen.
Endurance Aura for him to equalize the movement speed boost of Unholy Aura and a little bit more attack speed for Blood Mage and Rifles in the back. Good DPS boost for the human here. 120 is down to 50 supply. Oh my god, how much did he lose there? But yeah, no scout against the expansion just yet. Lich is back from the tavern. It was a big investment.
A bit more creeping here for 120, but that's not yielding any level ups for him. A bit more experience to get closer to level 5 4/4s. But these human heroes are really strong right now. 5 on the MK is obviously super strong, and level 3 on the Blood Mage for the level 2 Siphon is always a massive game changer.
He'll scroll for Chaemiko as well against the Nova. More Acolytes in production, but this expansion has not paid off. And guess what? He sees it. The Blight has been revealed. Now find a position and a timing to attack this. Mountain King has no staff, only an invul. He's not revealing himself. Now scouting with the Footman to make clear, hey man, I know what you're doing.
120, still no heal scroll. I think this is a big mistake.
He has one now.
Ah, there we go. Okay.
That Chaemiko has one of his own.
Dude, this Invis MK has been doing so much. Getting another kill.
Same as for Sok. Like, in the game against Lin, this Invis MK was crazy. Again, the skeleton play. Tier 3 for Chaemiko, by the way, on the horizon. With that, Orb and Staff and a lot of upgrades. Here we go. Stomp again. Nuke on all sides. This Priest a little out of position. No skeleton spawn, though.
Blood Mage here is the big vulnerability of this army. There's no healing for him. Silence on the MK in the front. Is he going to pop the invul? No, he dispels against it. The Lich in trouble again. Gets the coil this time. Has to go for the invul after if he wants to be safe. Does so. Mountain King getting focused after. Level 3 Clap coming in once again. Has the invul here himself, which is going to use in just a moment. I wonder if he has to further retreat. Going for the coil onto... Was it on the Lich? But already still low HP.
Abomination falls once more. Heal scroll to heal everything back to green. And now, high ground or not, another Fiend killed by this reveal. Chaemiko is playing out of his mind, pulling all the right strings. There's no flaw in this game so far. And 120 with his back against the wall, now facing the high ground.
The Lich has to be careful.
Here comes the Stomp again. Ooh, yeah, that Lich was saved last second.
One more spell available on the Mountain King. What's he going to use it on? Stormbolt, Clap. Siphon coming in against the DK, so important. And now this is the level 2 Siphon, draining this Death Knight so fast. The Dark Ranger, she's gonna die. There's no healing for her. Heal scroll actually might it be enough. It is just barely.
Oh!
Mountain King getting focused there with the Nova. Right clicks, no more invul for him, but he's pretty tanky with all of that armor and the evasion.
Potion used that was originally designed for this Blood Mage to keep him alive. Now everything squishy. So much damage ending up on the Mountain King to somehow threaten him. But it's so hard. This Ring of Protection is putting in some good work, and the Talisman of Evasion as well. Plus he's super slow even with boots. And now the Paladin. The hero nuke potential for the Undead just got a lot weaker since Holy Light is there, and most likely a Staff soon. And on the other side, if he gets an Orb of Fire on the Blood Mage, then he can't heal his Lich that much anymore.
Absolutely true. Might be a little weird to perfectly pull off, because he's also going to be siphoning. We're going to see how that works out. So far, no orb of fire just yet. 1-0 is going for a distraction push, as it seems. Possibly into the human main. No, just to the shop to get an invul. And then back to defense.
Dark Ranger maybe a little out of position. Not in range for the Stormbolt, so everything alright. 75 supply, close to level 4 Blood Mage. The staff to save important units. Can he get the level 2 on the Paladin? Then he's basically untouchable. Inner Fire, of course, feeding the Destroyers, but scratch that, it's only one. So limited Dispel. Coil Nova on this Blood Mage. There's no potion, but Holy Light continues the focus, diving deep for this. Tower is gone. DK, where is he going? In the middle of everything, no TP on him. Ooh, Death Pack. Stormbolt a little late, but he's surrounded. How to get out is the question for the DK. He's trying to get the Blood Mage to trade, but here comes the Stomp again, and the DK falls. Blood Mage staffed out. What a play by Chaemiko, and the next Fiend falls around on the Lich. No coil anymore, no TP, no escape.
Whoa.
GG! First upset of the round of 8 in the very first match. The Korean not showing a single sign of nervousness in this game plan. Executed to the fullest, everything worked, no answer for 1-0.
Mountain King does it again. It has been the carry hero for Human throughout the last couple of months, but especially it seems like for Chaemiko. Has been showing it against Fly previously, and now with MK first against 1-0. And 1-0 is a very strong player. He has few weaknesses. But one of them is sometimes he's a little bit too cocky, maybe a little bit too sure of himself, and sometimes perhaps doesn't respect his opponent or what he can bring to the table on the map too much. And against level 3 MK, when he goes for clap, you have to get heal scrolls. You have to get heal scrolls earlier than that. That game was lost when the Lich died. Yeah, in the bottom right. He still made it close somehow, despite dropping to 40 supply against 2 bases. But yeah, you have to bring those heal scrolls quicker and have to be ready. Also, these invis plays, they were what made this possible. If you see the MK from miles away, you're going to be more defensive, you're going to be more careful. Perhaps you're going to buy heal scrolls, but always the MK coming out of the shadows with the Stormbolt, with the clap combo, and the right click from rifles coming in. So much burst damage there. That was a super impressive display by Chaemiko, man.
I want to point out something that seems so easy and so simple, but this farm on the high ground at the laboratory for the scans, how many kills did it get him? We see this so many times in pro games, and sometimes as a caster it's a little infuriating. Of course, there are always reasons why there is no dust or no scan, but he always had the right eye for when he has to use that to get the fiends. I think he got like 15 supply just thanks to scans. Of course, it costs a little, but made it work so easy.
Yeah, absolutely worth it.
And another question against this build with MK Blood Mage. Banshees necessary?
Definitely gonna help. It's a long tech tree though. 1-0 was really scrapped for resources. He was squeezing that expo in. I think in the long run you probably can't do it without the expansion. If you try to get in a Banshee house there somewhere along the way, it's gonna be really expensive. Hard to make work. Also questionable decision. Early game was extremely passive. We saw no harass in the slightest. That is kind of the Chinese meta. This is how the Undead are playing usually. Start off with the first creep camp, but then go for harass usually after that. That was not the case. I still feel MK, if he goes for the Merc camp first, which was scouted by the Acolyte right away, there should be potential to harass this. Also, if you want to be really critical, when the footy pulls out the creeps, the Acolyte should be blocking the footy, so perhaps he gets ensnared. Yeah. Then everything couldn't look different, so not the best opening there by 1-0. If Happy, for example, plays against MK first, I know he goes aggressive and skips on the Fiends for a long time, goes 5 ghouls right away, and then the ghouls come in. And then you have an MK with 150 mana because he used some spells before, and suddenly everything can get dicey. But yeah, Chaemiko was left alone for a long time, didn't have to worry about his economy, harassments for an eternity.
It's oftentimes the case that in such important games, these players take it slow in the first rounds. And if that was Chaemiko's thinking, then that's just genius. Like, almost everyone does it. There's very, very rarely a rush or ultra aggression in the first set of the series. If he singled that mistake out, that playstyle out, chapeau, my man. 1-0, second map loss of the tournament, both against Koreans. For the first time, struggling here hard.
of course, that was a bit of a curveball. Of course, we've seen MK in the past, we still see him sometimes, but it's not the meta anymore. It is not what Undead players are most practiced against. That will be the AM. So I really like this MK first choice here, pulled off very well. Is very map dependent though. It's going to be utterly unplayable on Concealed, which is going to be his counter pick. It's probably not going to be playable here anymore, as Terranos and Echo Isles are both vetoed.
Amazonia is next.
Amazonia is next. And they're also Mountain King. Absolutely unplayable.
Pretty much impossible, yeah. Did he find a way somehow to make him work like Ro8 was trying the Warden on Northern Isles? That would be another curveball. Match points for Chaemiko. I can't believe I'm saying this. Ro8 had a lot of faith in him, that he could make it, and apparently for a reason. Will the first Chinese find himself in the lower bracket, 1-0, or will he equalize to force Game 3 on Concealed Hills? The answer? On Amazonia. Necromancer versus Marathon Man. Chaemiko has not won a Series 2-0 or lost a Series 2-0. Will the streak break? Or another full set. In the upper right, representing Newbie and China, it's 1-2-0. And in the bottom left, for winners and Korea, Chaemiko.
Mountain King should be utterly unplayable here. Amazonia is usually pretty one-sided, especially for Asian humans. It should be the AM into level 2 creep into fast expansion with 6, maybe 7 militia if you want to play it really safe. And then tech up to tier 3 probably, Knights, Triple Hero, that stuff. Or you can play one base rifles with staying on one base or then a tier 2 expansion. But I don't think that's Chaemiko's style. I don't think that's Chaemiko's style at all. When I see him play, usually it's fast expo into tier 3 most of the time. Of course, that was not the case in the previous game, but there was an MK opening, followed up by rifles. That was all a little bit different. 1-0. Playing very passively in the first game. Going for creeping first, going for level 2 creeping first, and actually not harassing anything. On LR, I guess it's understandable. Super easy expansion to creep. Here, it's not that easy, so I imagine we're going to have a more aggressive early game.
We just saw it in Happy vs. Sock, how well this harassment can work off. Sock was basically destroyed in the first 4 minutes of the game by a DK and skeletons who killed almost everything the human wanted to get. So what did Chaemiko learn from this? And will 1-0 be as aggressive as Happy was? Game 1 suggests no, but Game 1 also suggests, man, change something.
That was the game where Happy got level 5 DK without a single creep camp, right?
Yep.
Which is just insane. I think 1-0 is still going to start off with creeping here. It is actually pretty good opening on AZ. You can go for the trolls in the middle with just DK and skeletons, and then you're only 40 experience away from the level up, easily gained by just a single footman kill. Or is he going to play it Happy style? Is it going to be instant aggression, instant harassment? No, it's not. It is still going to be Asia meta as the DK starts off with creeping, just like the AM.
What a boost of confidence this must be for Chaemiko. Like, apart from the series I mentioned before, he never won a map against 1-0, was always destroyed, and now getting into this series with the first win, like, he must have a lot of confidence right now with this win. Okay, my theory crafting, my practice is working out. Everyone was grinding pretty hard here, obviously. Sometimes, like, again, I have to reference Ro8. He was practicing a lot of stuff on certain maps, and then these maps got vetoed, so it was basically 4 or 5 hours of wasted practice for him in some cases. This apparently not happening to Chaemiko here.
Chaemiko surprising me. Is he surprising 1-0 as well? Because he is one base teching. He's not expanding here, actually. Again, AZ is a pretty hard expansion map, so I guess somewhat understandable. But he also didn't make an arcane tower, so now in the main base he has to deal with the DK and skeletons. Actually, make sure he's not getting surrounded in here. 1-2-0 is. Is the AM going to come back for defense? Yes, he is.
Good damage as well with the claws, not getting blocked. This is so nice. Like this skeleton positioning, make sure that nothing can block him there, really. Even though if it's only a few shots, you need these shots to get out or to kill the skeleton so they can't... well, they were blocking the way free for this DK who can now disappear and start creeping himself, maybe. That was a lot of militia time. So, Lumber is really, really, really low.
He needs to get a lumber mill like right now.
Yeah. He has the gold for it, and blacksmith first.
Okay, blacksmith first. So if he stays tier 2, I guess he's not going to need that much lumber, but he's going to need more than 200 lumber right off the bat when he hits tier 2 for the second hero, plus the Sanctum. Here comes the lumber mill now. Okay, very understandable. But really good creeping on the AM. Level 3 already.
Yeah.
That was fast.
That's super fast. Taking up the Murlocs at the same time. The lab is gone as well. DK struggling with the level 2. Of course, now you can creep that. But yeah, with Gould, as you have the necessary lumber for tech and basically everything that follows up. Ring +3. Yeah, very defensive items here. Also with the cloak. That can be nice to hide. Also during daytimes nowadays. But apart from that, these items really not the dream for 120.
Yeah, pretty poor, honestly. On the AM, the claws are nice. The rest is also not that great. Nobody's got the...
What about the gauntlets, Remo?
The gauntlets?
Aren't you the biggest fan of
I
the
am.
gauntlets? Aren't you wearing these gauntlets even in summer?
Listen, okay? For what they give if you sell them, 50 gold. I would say as long as you have the inventory space and your heroes are somewhat in danger of dying in a matchup, never sell them. 75 HP can oftentimes save your life. How many times will 50 gold win your game, Neo, huh? How many times?
Rarely.
Rarely, right?
Maybe a scan.
That's what I'm saying.
You are
Suddenly-
absolutely right.
Suddenly level 3 DK. Wasn't he level 1 a second ago?
Well, laboratory gives you quite a bit.
Yeah, it's true, I guess. So, what's going to be happening here for Chaemiko? Obviously, rifles, obviously casted, but is he going to stay on one base, or is he going to expand? Expanding looks really tough right now. Look at the lumber. For an expansion, you need, like, probably 300 for the power build.
Must be one base, but also for 120. Did he tech already? He said 17 lumber.
I think he did.
Also missing another ziggurat, maybe? I think he built it right now.
Lich is coming out. He's going to join in the creeping shenanigans here in a moment. Big permanent item to be found. Could be a massive drop for him. Qualtala's boots. This inventory already, once you want to make to go for goddammit Dark Ranger is what I want to say.
Yeah, you love your agility on the Dark Ranger, that's for sure. The Mountain King likes the boots and more stuff to tank, so the gauntlets are good for him. The double claws on the Archmage, really nice. 120 being a little more aggressive here.
Just need more agility. Or agility tone +2.
It's good attack speed, I guess. Big info potion for the MK is nice. Archmage is making his way over to maybe cancel some buildings. Scouting for an expansion. What?
DK here, not with the most flawless creeping. Definitely took more damage than necessary.
Especially against an MK, man. You gotta be careful with that HP.
Yeah, MK was already level 2. It's not that easy to creep that camp without water elementals, though. He's going to take quite a bit of damage himself.
Again.
Still no tower, still no wall off. This is again going to be expensive.
There's a lightning shield. There's an item on the ground. Oh, nice one for the MK or Archmage. But where is Chaemiko? He's not defending at home.
Oh my god!
And it's a gorgeous slaughter if you're a fan of the Scourge. So many peasants dying already. The Lich is close to level 2. And Chaemiko pretty much making some mistakes, taking risks, but everything is hurt. This is an invitation for a Nova. But uses the TP out is Chaemiko. Is 120.
Wow. That was one hell of a trade.
Oh my god, look at this. How many corpses?
Rarely do you see players get punished so hard for scouting. The AM was scouting, that's why he wasn't with the army for the TP. That's why he was TPing so late, and boy, did that cost a lot of gold. If we were the observers here, we'd be checking the gold mines. It must be at least around 400.
Yeah, pretty much. No one has a TP anymore, and that could favor Chaemiko, thanks to Stormbolt. But 120 is on tier 3 already, as we can see from the orb. He's gonna get quite some items though, or has it already. Level 3 Mountain King, that was pretty fast too.
120 has the money here for a third hero. Is he gonna go into the main again? This would be pretty bold with having no TP anymore. Good Acolyte Scout. And dude, Chaemiko, this army is laughable. He's got 2 rifles,
No
3
TP.
rifles, excuse me.
No TP,
And there's the Dark Ranger.
with a lot of damage now, as you pointed out. +9 on her. So statue safe, not gonna get killed. Nova onto the footman, who will get the last hit on the rock golem. Boulder toss coming in. Oh, actually the Stormbolt it was.
bash.
Also no TP, and another Stormbolt is coming in soon. Chaemiko salvaging this pretty nicely, switching the focus to the Lich, but there's coils. Still the rock golem alive and well. There we go. So what is it?
MK in a bit of trouble. Does he have to use the invul here already? Nova coming in. Coil will force that invul.
Dodges the coil with that. Has still a big healing and the time for the rest of the army to run away. And a lot of stuff crept away.
Yeah, that actually turned out pretty well. The MK level 3 carrying hard right there. That could have gone a lot worse.
Of course it's bad to use the invul potion, but to steal the other consumable is pretty nice. He also got the upper left. And now the Lich. Where can he get level 3?
Chaemiko still feeling confident moving forward. DK has to be very careful. Focus fire should not quite be enough. Calling off on the AM. He doesn't have a TP, and he might very well be dead. The right clicks, the agility on the Dark Ranger, doing it. But the DK is dead as well.
Oh!
Invul.
Beautiful dodge with the invul, making sure this DK survived. There's another coil, so the nuke on the Lich is also not working. 1-2-0 withstanding this pressure. Chaemiko underestimating the nuke. This
Big
time
mistake.
he can't dodge anymore. But can he get a follow-up on this Mountain King? If he dies, no, the Fiend shots. The last two Fiend shots making it work. Chaemiko taps out. AZ didn't go as intended. And 1-2-0 equalizing this series. And for the 4th time in 4 matches, the Korean has to go full distance.
Damn. That wall off and that scouting AM cost him dearly. In the past, we used to see human bases walled off all the time, but over the last couple of months and years, there have been some openings left in there in case your hero drops low. You can send him in and try to save him in the safety of the back of the base, but it also means that the enemy hero can storm in and do some damage. And that was twice the case. First, it was heavily felt in the lumber department with the first bit of skeleton harassment coming in, and then the next one seemed kind of like the knockout blow. The MK, though, did a good job there, holding his own and keeping Chaemiko in the game. But I guess if you lose your AM and the MK, there's no saving the game anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. This MK save, I think I can understand it, because you can, like, the comeback mechanisms with an MK are way better than with an Archmage. So prioritizing that in that stage of the game felt natural. Did he really underestimate the nuke? I'm not too sure. Was it just the sacrificial lamb to save the MK? Kind of 50-50 thing. Did he have to engage there, though?
Not really, right?
Yeah, I
he
think so
was
too.
feeling
I was a little
strong.
too sure.
I guess he thought he had the upper hand should come to engagement, but there was no objectives there anymore. The Natural was crept, the Merc camp was crept, but he just felt, hey, I got healing pot still, I got level 3 MK.
I think he wanted to deny the red spot. With the Dark Ranger damage and orb, doable, I guess.
Not easily doable though.
Yeah.
Still a hard camp.
Yeah.
Definitely a little too bold, perhaps. Also, the AM positioning was off. The AM, like, if he engages, he needs to be way in the back. AM way in the back. But this was kind of similar to the game that we saw between 1-2-0 and Infi. Infi also playing this one-base rifle style, where 1-2-0 destroyed him with utter domination on Concealed Hill. Chaemiko made this look much closer. Again, much of that coming down to the level 3 MK, who changes so much in the early and mid-game stages.
How much of a sacrifice is an Arcane Tower?
Not much, honestly.
I think so too, and this happened twice now. On Amazonia, way worse than on Last Refuge, but the base is always open, it's always an axis for 1-2-0, and it's always a method to force Chaemiko back and pushes him back economically.
Yeah.
So it's cool that 1-2-0 realizes this.
If you want to be greedy and get the tech out as fast as possible and don't want to go for a tower before because you want your second hero faster, okay, I guess you can do it. But once you're in tech, make the one tower, dude. It's really not expensive. It's a single arcane, saves you so many headaches, especially when you're not walled off. Map number 2, Concealed Hill. It is weird in the first place that this map is still in the pool. It's weirder still that it's Chaemiko's choice. What does he have planned on Concealed? It's probably not going to be an expansion.
Decision time. Group A of the round of 8, winner bracket semi-final. The first of 2 China versus Korea matches. And this 1 point for Chaemiko was already a surprise, was playing decent but doing the mistakes on AZ, and 1-0 punishing him for it. So, what did he figure out that he can do on CH? Why does he do that? Claiming the middle somehow super early and expand there and tower it up? That sounds very, very cool in theory, but how to make it work? The question again, Archmage, Mountain King, maybe even a Pally play?
Yeah, it should almost always be AM. That being said, Sock not too long ago played a MK solo here on MK first on one base, which didn't work out too well. It is the MK first here as well.
Wow.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, when last I saw this, this was not with an expansion. This was with a one base play. If he tries to expand and 1-0 comes in with 4 skeleton harass, it's basically GG already. If he goes for an expansion, this is super risky. By the way, this time we do have an arcane tower coming up. Doesn't want to be harassed so much in the main anymore. Not sure if it's a full wall off actually. That might be a little way into the base next to the barracks. Alright, Mountain King. It is not the norm unconcealed. Is 1-0 expecting this?
He will see it pretty soon. This is hard to read, right? Like, this changes a lot of creep routes as well, as obviously creeping with the Mountain King is different than from creeping with an Archmage.
A player's
So
forces
how to
are under
counter
attack.
this then, and
Yep.
where to go? This is gonna be tough questions for 1-0. He has to think on the spot.
MK, of course, is very level reliant. Level 1 and 2 not too good, but level 3 and onward very strong. So on easy to creep maps like TS, like Echo, we see him quite a lot. This is not the case in Concealed. He can take this first camp rather easily, but still sustaining some damage. The next green camp, also pretty easy. But everything else is really hard, which is why this is such an unusual Mountain King map. Also, mercenaries are very helpful for the Mountain King for healing and a bit more range damage. No mercenary camp here.
Yeah, we saw on Last Refuge how the mercenaries helped him survive, especially against the first destroyer push when he still had like 2.5 ranged units ready. Chaemiko having the scout tower now, but not willing to upgrade that, still greedy. DK keeping him on level 1 so far with 2 sets of Rod of Necromancy used.
Is Chaemiko really gonna pull off this expansion now with the opponent right there?
There's a lot of corpses on the ground as well, creating them, preparing them.
Chaemiko would love to get a DK surround. Stormbolt,
Yeah.
surround, force him to TP, and then it is safe to take the expansion.
That would change the entire early game if
Yeah.
he pulls that off, but 1-0 playing very careful, creating a lot of distance between the two first heroes, and that's kind of what you need. Mass Militia!
Yeah, 8
A
militia.
player's
He wants to
forces
make
are
damn
under
sure
attack.
he's getting this one. And 1-0 a little slow for the harass. Fiend is coming in with new rods of necromancy thanks to Backpack. DK at the shop, getting a telestaff perhaps. But he's late to harass over here.
This time there's no Vamp Aura for Chaemiko to creep with, and that means a lot of hurt Militia. First one is almost falling to the Acolyte already. Here comes the Stormbolt, surround, but there is a staff out for 1-0.
No bash.
Ooh.
Seems like he has clap again.
No
Like
staff out, by the way. There could be another Stormbolt.
long range coil!
Oh, not getting it. Mountain King got it, level
Oh.
2.7. A little too early. And this was okay.
Yeah. And towards the expansion, he was a little bit too late. You're supposed to be there at least with the skeletons right from the get-go. And this DK hasn't done much at all. 25 experience only.
Laughable. That's one peon. One peasant, excuse me. Here's the second one, I guess. Another footman will fall. But it's still a power build on the expansion. The Mountain King is close to level 3. This means he can't spam too many skeletons. Otherwise, he feeds the MK23. And that's exactly not what you want. It's not the fastest power build of all time. But it is a power build.
Nice save there by Chaemiko as well. What does it need to get level 2
A
ASAP?
player's forces are under
Gets a
attack.
footy at the fountain. That helps, but still far away. Not a single creep stolen. It doesn't look like 1-0 is too used to this MK play anymore.
Totally agree. Oh, sweet surround. Not in my house. DK, of course, using the fountains here as Undead has tier 1 healing now, but you know, it's awesome that he denies even this skeleton.
Which is a big deal.
Shows you how close this game is and how important even the tiniest of things are. But this skeleton kill he couldn't deny, and that is level 3. And again, early dust.
Super early dust. Okay. Tier 2 about to be done, so Burrow could be a thing. And Telestaff for the MK. No boots.
Okay. Is he sending something out to staff onto?
More skeletons for Harass. I think there was at least
player's
one
forces
herd
are
peasant
under
left down there. Might be claimed. But the expansion is basically done. DK still on level 2. My god, so slow.
And he has to share experience.
Oh, he's
Staffing in with the DK. This is level 2. Okay. Second last coil. He's out of range of the arcane apparently. Now he's walking in. That denies him the coil.
The cool thing about this is it forces a response, and the MK level 3 usually wants to be aggressive across the map. So actually this is a pretty cool play. It keeps the Lich safe, it ensures the creeping on the second hero.
Could be a TP though. Yeah. Sees the enemy coming and moves away from the to the other side. Chaemiko's floating in gold. Not sure if he's teching yet.
Important scout right here from the next few skeletons, seeing the MK army. MK plus so many footies with full mana can very well kill all of your fiends.
Not teching. Shop coming up. He is running into the base, trying to get the economy, but 1-2-0 is so ready for that. Oh, one fiend really isn't, but Lich is at home. Nova comes in into the footman. There is one tower at least. Stormbolt, oh, the coil is right there. 1-2-0 knew this was coming, and staff out, right?
Staff into the back towards the rest of the footies. One Acolyte should certainly be falling over here. It's only a single one so far though. For that, you don't necessarily have to cancel attack. You really don't want to cancel attack now. It's at 80%. MK should look for more Acolytes. 1-0 is trying to block the Mountain King away from the gold gathering workers. Now he's moving them back in. MK is dropping lower mana, TPing out. One Acolyte fell, but that was well salvaged. Not too expensive for 1-0.
1-2-0 was ready with both heroes and lost one fiend, and didn't even lose the fiend, and forced the town portal and killed a couple of footmen, and there is still no attack. He has lumber issues. Even though the lumber mill is there now, he's still spending stuff.
Yeah.
And 1-2-0 is close to tier 3. Again, the question, can the destroyers overwhelm? Lich level 2 now. DK still no level 3. That's an issue. Second lumber mill and a blacksmith to wall this off.
1-0 hasn't scouted the main in a long time. He doesn't know how late this tech is.
8
we
minutes,
do, of
50.
course. It's a long time before Chaemiko is going to become a threat on the map, really. With that knowledge, counter-expanding could be a very valid strategy. But 1-0 doesn't have the intel. He doesn't know how late this tech is. So he may feel forced into a push, an all-in push, towards the expansion perhaps. And the expansion is looking very well fortified.
Yeah, Chaemiko was not fortifying anything on Last Refuge, relying on the units and mercs. This time not possible, so more towers it is. But the undead is marching south. The north remembers. The wall-off is ready once the undead arrives. Lich does not have an orb. Will most likely bring it with the fiend. That's kind of risky though. Invo potion and heal scroll for the Mountain King. And he sees the towers and backs off.
And as much as 1-0 was going for the perfect plays, perfect strats every time against 1-0, I feel like he's missing a beat here in this series, going for the subpar, the suboptimal decisions.
Still no level 3.
He could just be counter-expanding right now, I'm pretty sure. Like, what does Chaemiko have? A couple of footies and an MK.
He's going into the base again to harass there a little, at the same time trying to creep back with that Mountain King, this time not invisible. Rally point a little wrong-ish, I guess, but...
Yeah, and the statue was running into the creeps. What's going on?
That's a big mistake. He's just sniping that. And
oh!
That dodge. But no regen on the ground.
Yeah. Still though, that was not necessary.
Mining time again. This must be a response by 1-0. Oh, Undead gets it.
Loses the Fiend there as well.
Whoa.
Once again, thanks to the clap plus Stormbolt. Almost level 4 now on the MK. The ghouls not even dealing with these footies. What are the ghouls doing?
MK is in trouble though. Good damage. Ooh, Invo potion. Nice pump fake by 1-0 to force out this Invul. But now Zeppelin Is he staffing onto the footman? Yes, clap time, baby. Doesn't need it at the moment. Stormbolt, double kill. Oh, needs to, yeah, there we go. No mana anymore, but decent right clicks and the Zeppelin to get out without a town pole. This is a great trade for Chaemiko once again, buying time for his tech, which is now finished.
And what is there? Looking like he wants to go for a desperate all-in play towards the main, hoping that there's no towers there. But there is a couple of towers there.
Double Griffin Aviary, by the way. It's triple Griffin Aviary. Okay.
Yeah, he's just turtling up. Turtle.
Can 1-2-0 do? He needs to do a lot of damage, otherwise he finds himself in the lower bracket. Chaemiko's dodging fights. That's so smart. Playing only the economy game.
1-2-0 with a couple of mistakes here this game, and they're starting to show. One tower is going to fall, level 3 for the Lich. The MK is going to have to TP out of this sooner rather than later. Actually making use of the Zeppelin here to still hang around somehow. But these footies with defend, they're not taking any damage from these towers, not really anyways. The ghouls are supposed to be helping, but they're not, because the lumber is so low for 1-2-0.
Paladin's second, by the way. No Brilliance Aura, also no repair. Might be forced into a new altar, but it's still 2 base versus 1. Basically, yeah, 0.5, I guess. Now comes mass repair, but that's of course a mass slaughter thanks to this Nova. Peasants don't like Ice Age.
That's a lot of kills. This is actually really expensive.
Yeah.
Chaemiko's trying to return the favor with some more Acolyte harassment, but with an MK without mana, that's not really doing that much.
Look at the corpses next to the altar. That's a blood sacrifice for this Paladin.
At least it's gonna come out, otherwise it would have been a complete disaster. Here we go, Paladin finally coming out.
2 aviaries.
There's kind of an opening into the main though.
A player's force is
With
under
this
attack.
altar now fallen,
Red spot for Chaemiko. Oh, only healed up. No mana.
and MK of course, Paladin good for healing the MK, but no mana transfer, no Blood Mage here just yet.
And no aura, of course.
Oh my god, is 1-2-0 finding somehow an opening? He has found an opening back into this game.
Absolutely. This peasant line is completely wiped out. Only 1 masonry upgrade.
Yeah.
Hawks are coming slowly, though. How far until tier 3? Kind of a question. Holy Light to prepare the nuke for this Mountain King. Not too many footmen remaining. Second tower down as well. But everything is low.
There should be web, of course. He has seen these aviaries for a long time. Mana potion on the MK going heavy for the DK. Who's still sitting on a decent health, though, I guess.
32 supply only for Chaemiko. This is nothing. How long until the Hawks can help him? Chaemiko kind of desperate here. 1-2-0 back in full control. Can the Korean hang on? All his gold spent. The Hawks are not in this fight. Going to Griffins now, trying to get rid of the Fiends before.
Can't do anything with that empty Zeppelin
player's
anymore.
forces are
Needs to
under
buy more
attack.
time for more army, but there's an opening into the main. This is... Damn. Chaemiko, wasn't he supposed to have a massive lead? Suddenly it was gone. Suddenly there was no more mining in the main.
1-2-0 hits the timing.
Oh, and the double webs. He wasn't paying attention to those Hawks. Those are expensive losses.
First one down, doesn't do any damage to the destroyers, and that's what they are designed for. Mana potion on the Mountain King. Can he carry it once again? This time he's not level 5. Web coming in, more levels, close to a 4 DK. And the Mountain King is out of mana again. Without items, without a Blood Mage, without an Archmage. He's got to be very conservative with these spells, but he can't afford that. He needs to scare 1-2-0 away. Oh, the coil. So sick.
Bold clap, decent damage there, but that was all the mana gone now after the mana potion. And the DK says there's plenty more coils to be used.
Griffin dead. So expensive and so much experience. Knights are coming in from the right-hand side now.
More destroyers being morphed. We have 3 of them now. Plenty of magic damage towards this single knight, who doesn't have any upgrades, by the way. So thanks to that, is melting rather quickly. GG from Chaemiko. The upset. The miracle doesn't quite happen. 1-2-0 victorious, but he was hella struggling.
An ice-cold undead, though. Struggling throughout basically the entire game, but sees the one mistake, and Chaemiko can't believe it, shaking his head there. That could have been his game. But no. Not defending at home, rather going for the undead haunted gold mine, which didn't work out. There were a lot of losses, but it wasn't enough. Fair play, smile on both sides. Chaemiko finds himself in the lower bracket, and things are not gonna get easy for him there because it is a human mirror, that's for sure. TH or Sock will see him there. And Chaemiko's win rate in human mirror in major tournaments is 11%.
That doesn't bode well. That doesn't bode well at all. However, he was also the underdog against 120, and he made it look very, very close. That being said though, 120 not playing his best game today. He was looking definitely better in the group stage when we saw him there. Still gets the win here in the end. But I am pretty confident to say if he plays like that against TH, he's dropping down to the lower.
Yep. TH will play very differently though, and I think 120 was not really prepared for this MK play. Not to this extent, of course, you have to calculate Mountain King in, but Chaemiko played very, very differently from like an Infi or a TH that 120 is more used to. But it remains the same. Chaemiko cannot win against 120 in serious games. Now 9-1 for the Chinese in this direct comparison. And yeah, just one series away for 120 for the top 4.
At least he got the map, which doesn't really do anything for the second group stage as far as qualifying for the next round goes. There's no map score, but still, it's, you know, it's something for the psyche, you know, something psychological. I can take maps off of him if I play well. And looked so good, man, in the middle of the map at the red camp, gets the kill, makes everything so hard, forces the double destroyer. Yeah, I guess the overextension into the main was the mistake, right? It looked like a good idea. Killing 2 acolytes, I think it was, preventing mining for a little while. But you're just not supposed to give this opening into the main. Don't let it get breached. If the MK TP's back sooner, has a couple of footies still remaining, calls Militia, with Stormbolt you should get a couple of pretty easy surrounds with the Fiends and kills as well.
Also with the tower support he had earlier, maybe he overestimated the power of his static defense a little and the Militia.
Yeah.
That were, like, these 3 towers were taken out rather quickly by destroyers, and he didn't buy so much time there, which he needed for the triple aviary to work. One of the aviaries never came up. Then because of all the repair and all the peasants he had to reproduce, he had no gold to explode into 60-70 supply to defend this. 120, if you give him the little finger, he rips off your arm.
Yeah, I wonder, is this like part of the reason why you don't see MK anymore? You have to play it really safe with the first expansion, especially on Concealed. You have to bring many Militia that effectively cuts into Lumber, meaning it slows down your tech. The tech was so late. Despite how far ahead Chaemiko got in the